Awesome. So it's recording and all good. Super. So we are going to discuss the second part of the basic introduction to the computing section. So the basic concept of ICT section. So um, we are having two boring points, and that's not made the theory part taking boring point. So we did the introduction to data and information last week. So we discussed about what are the data types, what are the information type, how data can become information, how data can be converted into information. And we went through a couple of samples and මං trip back and I again explain කළා. ඒ වගේ අපි ගියා. So we went through the entire part on how data versus information when it comes to the IT architecture and the structure. So now today what we are going to talk about is just to investigate about the need of technology to create, disseminate, and manage data and information. So, අපි බලමු කොහොමද මේක වැඩ කරන්නේ කියලා. For the guys who joined recently, what you can see is, so I'm teaching it this in a different way so that we can identify the entire module set or the entire IPT subject course in one view. This is called a mind map. So you guys can see, starting from the basic concepts of IT, we have multiple different pieces into this mind map where we will have all the modules or අපේ විෂය තියෙන ඔක්කොම categories ටික නැත්නම් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ titles ටික subjects ටික අපි මේක list down කරලා තියෙනවා. So you can see all the titles are listed down. So during our first class, you guys can obviously refer to the video on YouTube. We went through all these trees of items and we discussed why we have this module and what we are going to learn in this. So we are still in the first tree. So we will be finishing the first tree next week because now these are the main two trees which is taking the highest part when it comes to the data and identifying what its data is. And then after that, we will be discussing how data is being saved, how its hard drives work, and interesting I'll show you guys how cloud computing works, like how a file can be created, and we'll touch a little bit on blockchain and the blockchain architecture and these designs as well, so that you guys can get a clear idea. Next week, I'm touch කරනවා hardware පැත්ත, software පැත්තයි, human operations යි, කොහොමද data processing වල තියෙන steps ටිකයි, data gathering පැත්තයි, ඒ parts එක. So most of the questions ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න based වෙලා තියෙනවා on these questions or these topics. ඔයගලන්ට MCQ questions තමයි ගොඩක් වෙන්නේ මේකට. ඇයිත් එක මේ ටිකෙන් අඩුම ගානේ හැම ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයකම වගේ ලකුණු at least ලකුණු 5-10ක් අනිවාර්යෙන් ගොඩ දාගන්න පුළුවන් මේ තියෙන data point එකේ. මේකේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ, the problem behind this theoretical thing is you need to understand the exact theoretical approach so that you can remember this. Now, apart from other modules, like if we take data representation or fundamentals of digital circuits, these are like mathematical stuff where we discuss about flow charts and where we do the calculations and all. So those things appear as සිංහලෙන් කියන වගේ ගිරලා දාලා මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිසා ඒක හරි ලේසි, but මේ ටික ගිරලා දාන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද you have to remember the concept behind the whole structure. So I'm teaching this with multiple examples, so I hope you guys can get this in. And then when we next month, when we move to the next module, which is introduction to computer, I will give you guys, we'll do an extra session, and we'll go through the tute. I'll mail you the tute, and you guys can actually take a copy, or you can basically work, take a print or work on that, where we will discuss on the major points which will be there in your questions. So මම මේක කෝස් එක හදලා තියෙන්නේ. මම මේක ඇත්තටම හදලා තියෙන්නේ අපි යුනිවර්සිටි ඩිග්‍රී එකක කෝස් එකක් හදනවා වගේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා modules ටික discuss කරනවා. Then we go in depth into each and every module. And then we cover up all the papers as well. So it's basically everything compacted together. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන් revision part එකත් වෙලා theory part එකත් වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ once we start revision next year, it will be quite easy for you guys because you have already done the revision beforehand and you all know what are the questions you need to face. So it's going to be really easy to target an A when we go through this methodology. අර අපි අනිත් ඉස්කෝලේ ඉගෙන ගන්නවා වගේ ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරලා අන්තිමට යනකොට අපි practice එකකින් යන එක තමයි ලේසිම විදිහ. As I always say, practice makes you perfect. So obviously, when it comes to IT, this is not a subject where you can memorize everything. You can't memorize how to code, you can't memorize how to create stuff. The only way and only thing you can memorize is the architecture and the concepts. මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් architectural structure එකයි concepts එකයි විතරයි. ඉතින් ඒ ටික මතක තියාගෙන ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඊළඟ level එකට යන්න ලේසියි. Okay, so today's point is to go through this particular tree. So we'll discuss about decision making policies and whatnot, all the points. Super. Let's get to the slide. The need of technology in order to create, disseminate, and manage data and information. So we'll discuss what this word is. So if you don't know a word, the word වචනයක් තියෙනවා මොනහරි කෙහෙමල් වචනයක් තේරෙන්නේ නැති දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඉංග්‍රීසි වල ඔයගලන්ට Google එකේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් define කියන keyword එක. ඔයගලන්ට පේන ඇති මේකේ තියෙනවා නැත්නම් යන්න google.com එකට එකට කියලා type කරන්න define DEFINE කියලා ගහ type කරලා මේකේ colon එකක් ගන්නවා. You put the colon dots there. Then you can enter the word you want to be defined. Okay. So when you press enter, it will define and give you the dictionary term of that particular word. Please remember to use this. Whenever you see a word which you don't understand, remember to use this. It will give you a clear idea and it will help you understand the English language as well. So disseminate is basically spreading something or especially information in a wide way. So that how to share or distribute information. And if you don't know how to pronounce it, obviously, you can click on this button as well. If you click on this, it will show you the pronouncing way of that correct word as well. So if you click on learn to pronounce, it will literally show you a mouth moving on the way you need to pronounce it. Okay, so try that out. Don't be surprised when you see some sort of a word. Just use Google. අපේ Google දෙයියගෙන් අහන්න එයා ඕන එකක් ටක් ගාලා උත්තරේ හොයලා කියන්න. Okay, so get back to the slide. This is the order which we are going through today. So we'll have a quick overview and we'll go through these points. So these are the points which is already there in your curriculum, which is defined for this particular step. So we'll be discussing applicability of information in day-to-day life. I'll explain this in very simple way. කොහොමද අපේ එදිනෙදා ජීවිතේ information කියන එක අපි last week ඉගෙන ගත්ත data information වලයි වෙනස. Then we are learning how this information can be used in our day-to-day life. Okay, and then we talk about drawbacks of manual methods. කට්ටකාගෙන manual data දාන එකේ මොනවද තියෙන කරදර දේවල් අපිට අපි එහෙම කරාම මොකද්ද අපිට වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද ඒකේ තියෙන drawbacks ටික and manipulating data and information මෙහෙම කරාම මොනවද data වලටයි information වලටයි වෙන්නේ. Then infeasibility of applying manual methods where they can be harmful to humans. අපි බලමු manually data දාන්න ගියාම මිනිසුන්ට මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියලා. කොහොමද කාට හරි කරදරයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. I mean, like how it can be harmful for someone when we try to do the manual data entry. And then we move to the next level where emergence of ICT, the ICT era. What happened when we got into the new era of computing with the ICT hardware and basically the new era of computers. And then other than computers are මොකද උනේ? Then we'll discuss about the usage and or usage of information in various domains. කොහොමද information එක එක જાතියේ business වලයි එක එක තැන භාවිත කරන්නේ මම ඒක ගොඩක් කියලා දෙනවා ඔයගලන්ට background information එකක්. I'll teach you a lot about background information about how data is being used on public applications or public domains, businesses, and so on and so forth. And then availability of technologies related to information retrieval and sharing. That is a point which you guys probably know very well. Sometimes you might know that better than me because you guys spend a lot of time on social media and you know what all the social technologies sharing data. And obviously then development of computer networks and the internet. So this is where we get to the fun part. And the development of mobile communication and mobile computing and cloud computing. Let's get to the first one. So let's dive into the exciting world of information and explore its building blocks as we did last week. So information is all around us and it helps us learn, understand things better. Just by building blocks, just like simple building blocks, different pieces of information fit together to create a big picture. So let's learn about this building block and their special characteristics in a way so that we can easily understand. So let's get back to, I'll just brush up what we discussed last week about a just a simple social picture. Okay, so I'll take an example. I'll just go to Google a social post. Okay, so we can take a simple what I use was Unsplash. So if you take Unsplash and let's say you go on a hike and you take this picture, and what you want to do is you want to upload this picture into Facebook. Okay, so this picture, what is it? Is it information or data? This picture is just data, right? So what you have here is just some data where this is the picture, but when you add a context to this picture, so let's say you create a post on Facebook and you just put it here, upload it, and for that particular post, you add a text saying where it was taken and who is in the picture, when it was taken, and what is in this background. If you add all those information, කොහෙද මේ ෆොටෝ එක ගත්තේ, මේ ෆොටෝ එකේ කවුද ඉන්නේ, මේ ෆොටෝ එක ගත්ත වෙලාව කීයද, මේ ෆොටෝ එකේ බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකේ තියෙන්නේ මොනවද, අන්නේ විස්තර ටික ඒ post එකට add කරොත් automatically this particular post will get transformed into information. Because now the මම මේ post එක දකිනවා හිතනවා Facebook එකේ කියලා මේ post එක දාලා තියෙනවා මම ඔක දිහා බලනවා ඉතින් මට ඇති මගුලක් නැහැ මේක ඇත්තට බලනවානේ නිකම්ම post එකක් දැන් මම බලනවා හරි මේ කෙල්ලෙක් ඉන්නවා ඒ කෙල්ල ලස්සනක් නැහැ මොකක්ද දැන් කොයි හරි හොඳ සෙක්සි කෙල්ලෙක්ගේ ෆොටෝ එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔන්න ඒ ෆොටෝ එක දිහා බලලා හරි කමක් නැහැ මේ කෙල්ල කෙල්ලෙන්නේ කියලා හිතා දාගන්නවා දැන් එහෙම හිතා දාගන්නවත් දෙයක් ඇත්තේ නැහැ එතකොට කිසිම ඉන්ෆෝමේෂන් එකක් නැහැ ෆොටෝ එකේ හැබැයි මේ ෆොටෝ එක දාපු කෙනා දාලා තිබුණොත් මේ ෆොටෝ එක ගත්තේ මේ අවල් දවසේ අහවල් තැන මෙන්න මේ වොක් එකේ යන ගමන් මේක බලන මෙතනට මේක දිහා බලාගෙන ඉන්න ගමන් කියලා if that set of information is there then obviously that data set automatically becomes information and it will give me some practical information to understand what this is. So I hope you guys got the point. What is data? Data is raw, unprocessed, anything. Some sort of, it can be text, pictures, numbers, anything. Information is something processed with a specific context in it. Okay. That was mainly the point which we discussed last week. Now let's get to the applicability of information in day-to-day life. So let's break down the topic applicability of information so that you can understand it in a simpler way. Okay. So why do we need information? Example, I'll take you guys through some uh, post. Let's say we'll take heavy inheritance. We'll take inheritance example, the hotel. Okay, so you guys can see that they have a post here. Okay, so if this post, okay, what is this post? This is the post which is information. Okay, so this is a post which falls under the category of information. And you can see that in this particular post, we have a specific data set given to us. So what does it say? It says book your next adventure with Spence Hotel and enter your gateway to Serenity. Follow the link below and enjoy an array of incredible discounts, complimentary meal offers to make your holiday one to remember. One of them post එක තියෙනවා. ඒකේ Spence එකකින් inheritance example එක ගැන ඔන්න data set එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. මේ data set එක when you read it, you can see that it's trying to provide us some information. Right? දැන් මේක බලනකොටදී ඔයා කල්පනා කරනවා අඩේ මම දැන් trip එකක් යන්න හිටියේ. Okay. So when you see this, you immediately you think about okay, I was planning to go on a trip and luckily there's a 32% off discount for these selected credit card. And මාර කනාලක් එක මම ගාව මේ credit card එකකුත් තියෙනවා. දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? Now you are thinking about going to this particular hotel to enjoy this offer. Then you are getting the credit card. That's okay. So that is the power of information, right? So you did not know that there was this offers going on, and through this platform, that information was shared with you. So our first point is decision making. Now you made that decision. So as a teenager, you make decisions every day. So whether choosing what to wear, what to eat, or how to spend your free time. Information will literally play a very crucial role in this decision-making process because it helps you weigh different options and make informed choice. So getting back to our inheritance hotel example. So now you're planning to go on a trip. හරි. අපි දැන් මේ weekend එකේ trip එකක් දාමු කියලා කතා කරනවා. මේ weekend එකේ නෙමෙයි. This is starting from 12th to 24th May. 24th May කියන්නේ හෙට ඉවරයි. Okay. මේක බලලා trip එකක් යන්න බෑ. We'll see if there's another one. and ඔක්කොම පරණ post තියෙනවා. හරි. Anyway අපි ගිය සතියේ trip එකක් යමු කියලා හිතුවා කියමු. ඔන්න ගිය weekend එකේ ඔන්න trip එකක් යන්න හිතෙන්න මේක දැක්කා. Now this gave you an option to help make that decision of going on a trip, right? So that is because you had this particular information. නැත්තම් මෙහෙම හිතමු අපි මේ inheritance column නිගම්ප එක අපි නිකන් search කරලා හිතන්නකෝ අපි මේ photo එක විතරක්ම post කරලා තිබ්බගෙන මෙන්න මේ photo එක. So sorry, now this is their website anyway. I'll close this off. They have created a post only with this particular photo. This one. දැන් මේක දැක්කම මේ මොන උතු කුඩියක තියෙන hotel එකක් දීලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් කල්පනා කරනවා where's this hotel is first of all. You know, say that photo was taken in a tropical country, so obviously this has to be a location inside tropical country. Number one, you can rule that off. ඊට පස්සේ බලනවා මේ pool එක රත්තර pool එකක්. That's it, right? Pool එක හොඳයි, weather එක හොඳයි, hotel එක ලස්සනයි, but we have no information. But now ඔයා trip එකක් යන්න ආසයිද? මෙතන බලන්න අමාරු pool එක අඩේ pool එකයි නේ. Kolgas Theatre, you have a nice sunbathing point. Obviously, as Sri Lankans, we don't sunbathe, that's a different story. But then you have the capacity, like, you have the option if you want to do it. And there's a nice pool, and you can see there are some poolside rooms and all the things you need to enjoy a good day off. But you're not making the choice because this does not have any information. Other way around, when you look at this one, in the image itself, you have a lot of information saying what this is. So immediately, it can help you make your decision. So I hope the decision-making part, you guys got the idea. මේක දෙපැත්තටම යනවා. දැන් decision making මෙහෙමත් වෙනවා. අනිත් පැත්තට ඔයගලන්ගේ report card එක අරගෙන බලන්න. report card එකේ තියෙනවා විද්‍යාව. අපි O level report card එකක් ගත්ත ගියම O level කරපු ගානේ නැත්තම් පොඩි පන්තියක හිටපු කාලේ ඔන්න විෂයන් අතර තියෙනවා සෙට් එක. දැන් ඔයක බල බල ඉන්නකොට decision එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් මෙයා science වලට 100ක් science වලට 90ක් කරන් තියෙනවා. maths වලට අරන් තියෙන්නේ 40. science වලට වැඩි maths වලට අඩුයි. එතකොට ඇයි මෙයාගේ වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ වුණාම you can use that information to make your decision. Okay? And it's about making or getting insight to go on further. We'll discuss about this point later on when we get into data structures and that. And then policy making. Policy making කියන්නේ policy කිව්වා මේ දවස් ටිකේ policy ගැනමනේ කතා කරන්නේ ගොඩක් අය policy making. It sounds like it's something reserved for politicians, but it literally affects everyone, including teenagers as you guys. Because policies are rules and guidance or guidelines created to address specific issues or challenges. Example එක මම මේක මෙහෙම කියන්න හොඳ නැහැ. අපි ගමුකෝ example එක දැන් හිතන්න මොහොතේ තියෙනවා මේ අපි මේ returns එකම ගමු returns එකේ මෙන්න මෙතන නාන්න හොඳ නැහැ. දැන් මෙතන නාලා ඔන්න දැන් මිනිස්සු දෙතුන් දෙනෙක්ම ගාගෙට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Now that is information, right? නානවා කියන්නේ data නේ. දැන් කවුරු හරි කියන අන්න අතන මිනිස්සු ටිකක් නාන. That is data. අන්න අතන A ගේ A ගේ B ගේ ළමයි නාන. Then that is information. And then ඔන්න මොකක් හරි එලා ඔන්න කෙනෙක් ගාගෙන ගිහින්. That is all the information. On this specific day, A, B, and their child went for sea bathing, and due to some reason, one person drowned. So that is information. ඒක මම කියන්නේ critical level එකකට වීඩියෝට ගන්න එපා මේක. ඉතින් එහෙම වුණාම then the hotel management has the capacity to make the decision to put a board or to keep a lifeguard here so that people will not end up having a bad fate. Okay, so that is the power of information. So it helps you create rules and regulations as well as also known as policy so that people will not get into harm or people won't be in this case literally people කවුරුත් මැරෙන එක නවත්තන්න. ඒක ගහලා. ඉතින් ඒක එන්නේ ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් නැත්තම් දැන් හොටෙල් එකේ මිනිස්සුන්ට නිකන් ගිහිල්ලා පිස්සු දාන තැනක බෝඩ් එකක් ගහන්න නැහැ නේ මෙතන මන්න එපා කියලා. ඒ අයිඩියා එක ආවේ you had data and data got converted to information, and because of that information they analyzed the information and that gave them a response saying that this is or this location is a bad place, people die here. Then of course they put the hold and they completely stopped people from bathing there. Okay, that is the policy making part. Aggressive තමයි මේක කියන්නේ, but I hope you guys can remember when I tell or explain it like this. Okay, so then the next point, prediction. අපි ගමු එකම example. හරි. ඔන්න දැන් prediction එකක් කියන්නේ prediction is basically හරි මොකද්ද prediction එක කියන්නේ? prediction එක කියන්නේ future එකට ඉස්සරහට වෙන්න තියෙන දෙයක් අපි අනුමාන කරලා හිතනවා. මෙහෙම දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So it can be a prediction. So let's get the same example. Now, if we take the same example, we can now if we get to know that this particular area of the beach is not good to have a swim, or not basically good to let people, or people who does not know how to swim, to go on sea bathing, then what we can predict is, now you guys should be able to see that there's a so the beach is actually clearly visible, but there is kind of like an artificial reef created, a stone reef created. So they might have done this on a specific purposeful reason. So now, if this is not a good place to swim or have a go on sea bathing, then of course we can predict that this area will not be suitable as well. In order to find that, you need more information. හිතන්න හරි මම වෙන විදිහට එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්නම්. හිතන්න මොරු දැන් මේක තියෙන මීගමුවේනේ. මීගමුවේ බීච් එකේ මාසෙකට 100ක් නානවා. හැබැයි ඒ 100න් 10ක් එක්ක තුවාල කරගන්නවා මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. Then that means we can get the insight for that particular data set and convert it to information. So let's say we get a specific date range, and during that date range අපි ගන්න පොඩි කාලයක්. ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත අපි බලනවා හරි මෙච්චර මිනිස්සු ගානක් ගාගෙන ගියා, මෙච්චර මිනිස්සු ගානකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. හරි. එහෙම ගත්තහම එහෙනම් බීච් එකේ මෙන්න මේ XYZ locations තුනේ කෙනෙක් මෙතන කෙනෙක් මෙතන කෙනෙක් මෙතන නම් එහෙනම් obviously we can predict that this is a dangerous area for swimming. So then we can completely ban that out. That is basically based on a prediction. This is based on our example. අපි නැත්තම් අපි actual example එකක් ගත්තොත් ඔයගලන් දකින්න ඇති මේ දවස්වල රුපියලේ ලොකු උද්දමනයක් තියෙනවා. There's a big inflation going on, so the rupee is continuously going up and down. So the dollar value compared to rupee is like really unstable and all. But what they do is, by taking 10 days, the range of 10 days, they have the ability to predict how the rupee will be controlled, or how the rupee will be in the next 5 days. අපේ මේ 2023 ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකත් එක්ක හරි අමාරු ඒක කරන්න මේගොල්ලන් පිටින් උඩ පල්ලෙහා දාන එක වෙන කතාවක්. But අපි මේ කරදරේ වෙන්න කලින් තිබ්බ විදියට ගත්තොත් it was like pretty stable, and people were able to make predictions when we like before we start projects or something like that. So information is used for predictions as well. Let's get to the next point. Planning, scheduling, and monitoring. Planning, scheduling, and monitoring. So being organized and managing your time effectively is essential as a teenager, as a student, obviously. And information empowers you to plan and schedule your activities efficiently. For instance, let's say if you have a project or information gathering, like important project, gathering information about required tasks, deadlines, and available resources allows you to create a realistic plan and allocate your time wisely. I'll explain you guys with a simple example. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ට්‍රිප් එකම යන ඇතුලේ ට්‍රිප් යනකොට ඉන්නවනේ අර කොච්චර වෙලාවට එන්නම් කිව්වත් එන්නේ නැති එකේ. There's this guy who will say, I'll be ready in 5 minutes. And you have to go there, you have to wake the bugger. අසර දෙකක් දාලා ඇදලා දාලා උට දත් මදින්න කියලා ඔක්කොම කරලා, and his 5 minutes will automatically convert into at least about 1/2 an hour, or maximum it can go up to 1 hour even, right? You have this one, like every set of friends, there is this one bugger who will do that, right? දැන් ඌත් එක ට්‍රිප් එකක් යනකොට ඕගලන්ට හරි ලේසි ප්ලෑන් කරන්න. දැන් ඌව තමයි එක්ක අන්තිමට ගන්න. ඌව මුලින් ගන්න ගියොත්, if you try to pick up that guy, that bugger as the first person, you like try to pick up all the people, like when you start the trip, if you try to pick that person up as the first guy, then obviously that will delay the entire trip by at least about 1 to 1.5 hours, right? So because of that reason, now since you know that information, now you know how to මචං හරි අපි අන්තිමට ගන්න මොහොතට අපි ආවම හරි. So you can plan the rest of the pickup point, get all the friends, and by the time you arrive at his place, you'll be ready. උටර විනාඩි 5 පාර call දීලා be ready, you have to tell him be ready 10 times, and by the time you arrive at his place, you will be he will be ready, right? So I just gave you a funny example, but that's planning. So with proper information, you have the option to plan and schedule, and as well as monitor activities and every planning you do. Okay, so it will obviously help you allocate your time wisely. Then we get to the problem part. So what we discussed first, how we can apply information in our day-to-day life. අපි කොහොමද information කියන එක අපේ එදිනෙදා ජීවිතයට පාවිච්චි කරගන්නේ. අතුලත් කරගන්න. හරි. දැන් අපි කතා කරනවා drawbacks of manual method in manipulating data and information. ඒ කියන්නේ manually data enter කරනකොට manually data එකතු කරනකොටයි enter කරනකොටයි මොනවද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න. We'll just go through the points and we'll see what are the issues we get. So drawbacks of manual methods and in manipulating data and information in a way you can understand. So we'll cover the issues like inconsistency and duplication in data, room for errors, human errors, delay in processing, and the impact on sharing information and customer services. මේක හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. හොඳට අහගන්න ඒක ලොකු ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට එදිනෙදා ජීවිතේ තියෙන ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් manual information එක. මම ඔයගලන්ට පොඩි background එකක් කියන්න. දැන් ලංකාවේ now still almost about 90% of all the government organizations still they do the manual process, right? When you go there, they still have some paperwork. අපි කිව්වට paper වලස් මේ methodology එකට අපි යනවා කියලා still we use lot of papers. There are papers you have to sign, there are papers you have to submit, and all these manual data points are there. ඉතින් ඒකේ ලොකු වරදින්න ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් තියෙනවා. example එකකට ඉස්සර වුණා දැන් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉස්සර now I hope you guys have the new identity card, but like about 25 years ago, it was really hard to get an identity card even because sometimes because the identity card is actually written manually. So somebody basically write it and there's the signature. So when you write on a paper and when you laminate it, obviously there's a chance to have some mistakes, right? මගේ දන්න අයගේ තියෙනවා බර්ත්ඩේ එක ඉස්සරහා තියෙන එක බර්ත්ඩේ එක පිටිපස්සේ ලියලා තියෙන තව බර්ත්ඩේ. ඉතින් ඌට යන හැමතැනම පුදුම වාක්‍යයක් කිව්වා. ඒ දෙපැත්තේ තියෙන බර්ත්ඩේත් එක. ඒ වගේ හරිම critical issues වෙනවා manual data enter කරනකොට. So we'll see inconsistency and duplication in data. This is an example which I told you with that NIC, National Identity Card. So in the front of the NIC, you have the NIC number, and behind the birthday is different. So if you're born in, so according to the old identity card, if you were born in, let's say 99, then your number will start as 99. Okay, now in the new version, you get 1999. So let's say if front of the card it says 99 and at the back of the card if somebody wrote that as 98, then it's like totally different, right? So inconsistency can give you a very hard time if the data is not added properly. So when the data is handled manually, there's higher chance of inconsistency and duplication. So different people will interpret and record information differently. Obviously, right? We all are different. The way we learn is different. The way we absorb things are different, and how we write things are different. How we express things are different. So because of that reason, then computer එක ගන්න මොන computer එක ගත්තත් software එක run වෙද්දී ඌ software එකේ software එකේ AB කිව්වොත් ඒකේ AB ම තමයි. හැබැයි මමයි ඕගොල්ලන් මේ ගත්තොත් මම AB කියන එකයි ඕගොල්ලන් AB කියන එකයි සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වෙනසක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. So this can confuse and make it challenging to get accurate insight from the information. Additionally, manual handling increases the risk of duplicate entries as well, which can clutter databases and make it harder to find the use or find the correct information. Make a one example like we did I'm not going to expose any of the company details like institution details, but long time ago we did a platform for one of kind of like a government institution, and so we created a tab with an application so that you can like install the app or open it on a web browser and take it to the location, and that application allowed you to fill in the details. So it was quite straightforward. We provided the tab, we provided the internet connection, we gave like numerous training sessions, and we got them full a set of people who was working for the government. We got them full up to date with everything, and we released the app. After some time, we started noticing there's like massive duplicated data entry. You have like for let's say only no කවුරුරි නමක් තියෙනවා මාතර මිනිස්සෙක්ගේ මිනිහා ඉන්නවා දැන් පාසලේ එකම විදියට එකම රිසල්ට් සෙට් එක දාලා තියෙනවා සමහර වෙලාවට එකම රිසල්ට් සෙට් එක දාලා තියෙනවා වෙන වෙනම ලැන්ග්වේජස් වලින්. So we found it once the same name and same information was added 3 times, right? In all three different languages. අපි ඒක හොයාගත්තේ අපි unique list එකක් ගත්ත NIC number එකෙන් අරන් බලුවම මොකද මේ data මෙච්චර replicate වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Sorry, duplicate වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Then only we did some research and we found out that these buckers have never used the tab. When we gave them a tab, අපි හොඳ tab එකක් දුන්නේ හොඳ full size tab එකක්. They have never used the tab. What they have done is these buggers were like working for ages in the government sector, so they are so much used on writing things on paper. So they kept the tab at their office and they went on the locations and got it written down on paper. ඊට පස්සේ මූන් කරන්නේ මූ දවල් වල ගිහිල්ලා ලියලා හවස ඔෆිස් එකට ඇවිල්ලා 5 වෙනකන් අරගෙන එන්න. ඉතින් එහෙට පස්සෙක් ඒකේ. So we were never able to give a solution for that because that's a human problem. So that's the problem with manual method. So there are two different points there, two different factors of this. So there's the humane factor and there's the practical factor. So humane factor wise, they were used to do everything manually. So because of that reason, they kept on repeating what they are good at. කොලයක් කරන් ගිහලා ලියා ගන්න. කියන පරිවාගේ නම් මොකක්ද හරිවා මොකක්ද කියන ලස්සාව හරියන් ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් විදිහට ගිහලා කහන ටැබ් එක අරන් ගිහලා ටැබ් එකේ ටයිප් කරන්න නැති. ඒතර තියෙන human issue එක. other way around අපේ application එක issue එකක් තියෙනත් පුළුවන් because let's say if they don't know how to like use the app or if the technology is like too early for them, then of course that also can be an issue when it comes to getting the manual data. So manual inconsistency in that duplication in data. I hope you guys got the idea, and I hope just remember the examples I told as well. Room for error. This is the same thing I explained before. So there's like massive room for error because two people can add in two different languages, or two people can control or like try to feed in the data at the same time, or they can write on two different papers. මෙයා සුදු එක ලියනවා අරයා කළු එක ලියනවා. නැත්නම් අරයා වෙන තැනක ලියනවා මෙයා තව තැනක. ඒ වගේ there is massive room for errors and then human errors and delay in processing. This is the part I told you that they are going to, what they do is they write it and they bring it back to the office and then they process it. Right? So obviously there's going to be a massive delay in processing because the manual work is there. Okay. And lack of sharing information and reduced customer service. මේක තමයි හොඳම පොයින්ට් එක. දැන් manual information වුණාම ඕක share කරන්න බෑනේ. කොහොමද share කරන්නේ? මම ආයෙත් අහනවා. අද දවසේ හිතන්නකෝ okay. Think you're doing a sales job and I want you to go and knock on all the doors on a specific street. අපි ගන්නවා පන්සල පාරේ මම කියනවා ඔයා පන්සල පාරේ මුල ඉඳන් පන්සල පාරේ අග වෙනකන් හැමෝගෙම ගෙදරට ගිහිල්ලා තට්ටු කරලා මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක විකුණන්න. හරි. දැන් ඔය එක්සැම්පල් එක අරගෙන බැලුවොත් ඉතින් එයා යනවා ගිහලා පළවෙනි දොරට තට්ටු කරලා මැඩම් I'm from XYZ company. I'm selling this product. Are you interested in it? Someone can say yes, okay. I'm interested. හරි. ඉතින් අරයා දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මෙයා දෙවෙනි දොරට යනවා. ඌ බැලලව ගන්නවා. ඔන්න තුන්වෙනි දොරට යනවා. තුන්වෙනි දොරේ ෆැමිලි එකක් ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන් බල්ලා කරලා ඔන්න ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක ගන්නවා. දැන් මේකේ now as the company owner, I want to find out how this guy is doing and what is his current status. Is there a way of getting that? No, right? So when, let's say, if he is manually entering all these records in one of his, let's say, short notebook, there's no way of getting that information until he arrives back at office, and then somebody has to go through that book and manually read it one by one. So of course, that's going to be a very cumbersome activity, as well as it's going to take a long time. අනිත් එක තව එක්සැම්පල් එකක් හිතන්නකෝ මම ඔයගලන්ට මතකද දන්නේ දැන් ටික කාලයකට කලින් ආවා බස් වලට ඩිජිටල් මීටර්ස් දාමු කියන කතාව. So a digital meter was introduced with the capacity of with the ability of connecting it to a 4G network, and every time when a ticket is issued, that information is literally saved, and someone can go through it and view that information. හරිගේ නෑනේ වැඩේ. ඒක කරා නම් හොඳයි, but ඒක හරිගේ නෑ. Still people are more used to go through this manual method. Manual ticket එක දාන්න. ඉතින් ඒකේ වැරද්දක් තියෙනවා. So if we have gone forward with the digital method, then of course it might have made things much faster, accurate, and it might have increased the customer service as well. So in this case, so in අපි හිතමු අපේ bus situation එකේ දැන් bus situation එකේ customer service එක සෑහෙන අන්තිමයිනේ. දැන් අපිට ටිකට් එකක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. බස් එකේ අයිතිකාරයා දන්නේ නැහැ කීයක් ටිකට් විකුණුණාද. ඉතින් එතනදී ඇත්තටම if that person can get a real time view on how many tickets has been sold, how many people are in the bus at the moment, and if somebody can get all those information as the bus owner, I will be extremely happy, because then I don't need to give a call every time when the round is done. I don't have to give a call and ask them කීයද round එකේ ගන්න, round එකේ කීයක් එකතු වුණා. Because obviously people අපි උතන මම අර කිව්වා වගේ human factor එක තියෙනවා හැම වෙලාවෙම manual entry වල. හරිද? ඒක උතන මතක නැහැ. මොකද දැන් අර bus conductor යිවත් ඕකෙන් ගානක් ගහ ගන්නවා. එතකොට එතනදී ඒ ප්‍රශ්නය තියෙනවා. But in return, how much pressure do they put on the customer? Then customer කෙනෙක් හැටියට ඔයාලා ටිකට් එකක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැසවන්න. එක්කෝ අර ප්‍රශ්න එනවා මේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා සල්ලි හම්බ වෙන්නේ. So obviously that will automatically go down the customer service you will offer as a company or a service. Other way around අපි ගත්තොත් නිකම්ම විදිහට දැන් අපි we'll take another example hospital එකක් හිතන්න මේ we'll take the Navaloka hospital. So they have a nice system. So they have this customer registration system, a patient registration system. So every time you go there, they will automatically register you as a patient and they issue you a card. So next time, ඔයා ගියාම ඔයාට කාඩ් එක ඔයා දෙන්න දෙන කාඩ් එක විතරයි. අයින් පට්ට සර්විස් එකක් කියන්නේ. කිසි කරදරයක් නැහැ ගියා you just go there, issue the card and they know your medical history and everything. Just imagine, so Navaloka hospital, there's like, I don't know, couple of 100,000 people go, like walk through that hospital every day. Think if they don't have that, if they're doing manual service, like manual data entry, then when you go there and when you want to get some medicine, file like then only they will have to get your information. Otherwise, forget about it. Just what is your name, sir? What is your age, sir? Okay, take this visit and go in. That's it. So there won't be any tracking as well as it will be really hard to manage. මම හිතනවා මේ පොයින්ට් එක තේරුණා කියලා. මම තව එක පොයින්ට් එකක් කියන්න ඕගොල්ලන් දන්නේ නැති දෙයක් මොකද ඕගොල්ලන් ඉතින් කලින් තිබ්බ දෙයක් මේක. ඉස්සර චෙක් එකක් ලියුවහම ඒ චෙක් එක අපිට මාරු කරන්න බෑ. ඉස්සර banking systems වල ඔයගොල්ලන් දන්නවනේ චෙක් වැඩ කරන හැටි. ඉස්සර banking system එක when you get a check from a bank or from a person which is from a bank, you can't change it. So if you get a check from Bank of Sri Lanka, you literally need to visit Bank of Sri Lanka and change that check. Otherwise, what happens is, let's say if you try to deposit the Bank of Sri Lanka check to people's bank, what they do is they hand the check. They fax the check. Correct? Check එක අරගෙන fax machine එකේ දාලා ඕක fax කරනවා ඒ user ගේ account එක තියෙන bank එකට. මම කියන ගොඩක් ඉස්සරහට දැන් හිතමු ඔයාගේ account එක තියෙන්නේ මේකට Bank of ලංකා බැංකුවේ කියලා. ඔයා ඇවිල්ලා මට මම ඉන්නේ ගාල්ලේ කියමුකෝ මං ගාල්ලේ මට ඇවිල්ලා ඔයා චෙක් එකක් දෙනවා නුගේගොඩ ඔයා මගෙන් බඩු අරගෙන ඔයා මට ලක්ෂ භාග චෙක් එකක් දෙන්න. දැන් මට ඔය ලක්ෂ භාග මාරු කරගන්න. මම ගිහලා දෙන්න දැන් මට නුගේගොඩ එන්න බෑනේ ඕක මාරු කරන්න. ඉතින් මම ගන්නදී මං ඇවිල්ලා ඒ කාලේ හයිවේ තිබුණේ නැහැ මම අවුරුදු ගානකට කලින් කියලා. ඒතකොට මං ගිහිල්ලා මගේ ගාල්ලේ බැංකුවට තමයි මම දෙන්නේ. දැන් ගාල්ලේ බැංකුව ගත්තාම දැන් මගේ අස්තන තියෙනවානේ. චෙක් එකේ අස්තන වෙරිෆයි කරන්නේ නැහැ. අස්තනයි account details තියෙන්නේ නුගේගොඩනේ. ගාල්ලේ බැංකුවට දුන්නාම what they do is they fax the check back to the Nugegoda branch, and there was a unit, a check validation unit in Nugegoda on all the branches, where they literally open up this book where it had all the signatures and go through the signatures, and they just do a cross comparison, and if the signature matches, then they put a sign, they put a seal, they put a sign, and then they again fax that back to Gaul branch. When that fax is being returned to the Gaul branch saying that you can give the money, then only that money will be deposited to my account. ඔය හේතුව නිසා තමයි තාමත් ඔය බැංකුවල තියෙන්නේ සල්ලි දැම්මම ඊළඟ දවස් 3න් පස්සේ කියලා එන්නේ account එකට. ඊළඟ දවස් 3න් පස්සේ එන්නේ කිසිම හේතුවක් නැහැ දැන්. But still they follow the same concept because of security reasons and whatnot, all the banking reasons. But ඔන්න තේරෙනවද ඕක තමයි manual data වල තියෙන කරදරේ. දැන් මෙහෙම දෙයක් නෑ. දැන් you do a digital signature and your signature is scanned and if it is from the same bank, I think now you can instantly cache and check even. So that now you guys are now we are basically living in the digital age. හැබැයි ඉස්සර ඔය කට තිබුණා. ඔයාලා ටිකක් මම explain කරේ මම මේ examples කියන්නේ so that you guys can you you guys understand where we were at and now where we were at before and now where we are at after the new technology. So going back, so we discussed multiple points and multiple examples about why the manual method is not good and why it can be harmful. Okay, sorry, why it's not practical to do that. Now we'll discuss about why it can be harmful for him. Any harmful කතාවක් කියන්නේ ඇයි මේ manual methods පාවිච්චි කරන එක මිනිසුන්ට භයානකයි කියන්නේ. කරදර වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන්නේ. Safety first. Manual method, manual data gathering. So when it comes to tasks that can be harmful or dangerous to humans, like handling toxic substances or working in hazardous environments, manual methods may not be the best choice, right? So these situations require special precautions and safety measures using manual. So because of that, using manual methods can expose individuals to unnecessary risk and obviously potential harm, even death. That's why it's crucial to prioritize safety and explore these alternative methods that minimize human involvement. අපි මේක බලමු කොහොමද මේ කියන්නේ කියලා. Safety first කියන්නේ මේක. ඉතින් ඉස්සර මම example එකක් පෙන්නනවා මෙන්න මේ දෙක. So there's a thing called an hydrometer. මම හිතනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක දන්නවා ඇති කියලා hydrometer එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන්නේ. Hydrometer එකක් කියන්නේ වතුරේ නෙමෙයි ඕනම liquid එකක density එක බලන්න පුළුවන් meter එකක්. ඒකෙන් බලන්නේ using the concept of buoyancy. Buoyancy කියන්නේ වතුරේ අර ගිලෙන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණය. මම science side එක explain කරන්න නැහැ ඔයගලන්ට. කොහොමද ඕකේ point එක තියෙන්නේ now so we have hydrometers. So if we have any people who are doing science and all, you guys will obviously know what the hydrometer is and why you use this. So like hydrometers are being used at different and multiple different locations where you will tend to use this when there's acidic environments and whatnot. Or this can be used as in environments where it can be hazardous to people. So now this is a typical hydrometer. So this is basically a person trying to use this hydrometer to check the battery water levels. So obviously this is still being used where you can use it to check the battery water. But in this case, still there is a harm, right? So even if the battery terminals and if this is open, still in ideal situation you have to wear gloves and you have to place it properly, and then you can use the hydrometer to check the battery level, the acidity level of the battery. In return, what we have is with the new technology, we have the digital hydrometer. දැන් ඕක ගිහිල්ලා හිතන්නකො මොකක් හරි එන ලොකු ඇසිඩ් ගොඩක් හරි මොනවා හරි තියෙන එකට දාලා ඕක දාලා ඔබ බලන්න බෑ ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් බලන්න පුළුවන් it's too risky, right? But in that type of a situation we have the digital hydrometers where it will automatically collect the data for you, so no manual interaction required. So this is just the example I just used, but ඔයගලන්ට ඒක ගොඩක් හිතන්න පුළුවන් නම් තව එකක් අපි හිතමු මේ ඉස්සර තිබුණා ඉස්සර එක තිබ්බ ඉස්සර නෙමෙයි තාමත් තියෙන job එකක්. There are companies who does underwater cleaning. Underwater cleaning කියන්නේ අපි ගත්තොත් නැවක් කරගත්තොත් නැවක තියෙනවා මේ නැවවල යට බද්දි යට බැඳෙනවා එක එක ඔය පාසිය නමනන් ඇවිල්ලා මලකඩ කාලා පොඩි තට්ටුවක් වැටෙනවා. So usually in time there's a like let's say about couple of inches thick layer gets formed underneath the ship's main structure. So like back in the day, what people used to do was people like they have a little diver. So they dive underneath all these like big massive container ships and they do manual washing and they literally manually find out where they need to clean and they mark the place and come back up and then they take the gear and again they go down and do all the cleaning and over repairs or whatnot. But it's required to be done as a maintenance staff. Maintenance staff එකකට කරන්න ඕන දේ අරගලන් ගිහලා බලලා එනවා. දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒක ඉතින් මැනුවල් මෙතඩ් එකක් නේ ඒක හොයන්නේ. අයි මැනුවලි අපිට ගිහිලා ඩයිව් කරලා අනිත් එක විශාල නැවක් කරට පීනනවා කියන එක විශාල වැඩක් නේ. I think you have to be a professional diver to do that. Certified professional diver. දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? පොඩි drone එකක්. Now there are drones which there are like underwater drones where you can just drop the drone and you can call it a day. Underwater. You have these underwater drones, small autonomous drones like this. So all you need to do is you just stop this and move ගිහිල්ලා යටින් බලලා ඔක්කොම ඕන කෙනෙක් ටික බලාගෙන ඇවිල්ලා අපිට කියනවා මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ point එක මේක ගිහිල්ලා හදන්න. Okay, that's the digital way of capturing the data. So manual way is actually hard. Physical strain and fatigue. This is what I explained by the diver. මොකද ඩයිව් කරන්න ඕනේ ගිහිල්ලා ගන්න ඕනේ ඉතින් ඩිමාන්ඩින් ඉතින් ඕක බලන්න යන මනුස්සයට ඕක බලන්න යන මනුස්සයට විතරක් සර්ටිෆිකේට් තියෙනවලු 10ක් විතර. So I hope you guys know like know the background in diving. So like diver කෙනෙක් වෙනවා කියන එක ලොකු process එකක්. So you have to go through a training process, you have to get the certifications and පොරක් වෙන්න ඕනේ ඔයාගේ underwater dive කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ මනුස්සයෙක්ට කොච්චර physical strain එකක්. So the physical strain and fatigue is like extremely next level, right? You have to swim down, you have to go through it, and you have to completely do the entire manual uh, uh, what do you call it? Manual assessment of this whatever the vessel size and all. So manual method can obviously cause the risk of injuries and even health issues because you have to do that manually. Then time and efficiency. Again, we'll get to the, we'll use the same example as I said about the diver. So a diver has to be prepared. I should show you. See. Divers. See, so these are the guys. So what they do is they basically dive. So some of them will have its own air support as well, and they do go underneath and like literally physically touch that particular propeller or the location where it has to be cleaned and they clean it out. So I'll call it as ship cleaning like this. So this guy is just literally trying to remove some sort of a rope, which is so yes. So it's called underwater ship hull cleaning. That's the word. Okay, I was just looking for the word. Okay, so getting back to the time and efficiency. Now just think, so this guy has to be prepared, be like dressed, like get all these things and you have to double, triple check his oxygen supply and everything, and then only he can jump to the water and go down, right? So just think how much time it will literally take. So that is about doing this in a physical manner, but manual method can often be obviously time consuming and inefficient, especially when dealing with complex or large scale operations. So like this one, it's a large scale operation. So it can be really complex to do all these things. මම මේ කියන්නේ මේ සුද්ධ කරන එක නෙමෙයි මම වැරදිට හිතන්න එපා මම කියන්නේ මේ data gathering part එක. So there has to be a diver who goes down and takes all the pictures and determine that this has to be cleaned. So I'm talking about that part. පටල ගන්න එපා සුද්ධ කරන එකයි data එක අදාළ නැහැ මෙතන. Okay. So in situations where efficiency and quick response times are crucial, relying solely on manual methods can lead to delays and obviously reduced productivity end of the day. So automated systems and technology can perform tasks more quickly and accurate. As I showed you, we have these drones, they can go down, take the picture, even mark it, and then obviously one guy has to go there and finish up the task. Simple as that. Then error. So obviously humans, as amazing as we are, but we make errors, right? We all learn by making errors. So we are not perfect. So in tasks where precision is vital, manual methods obviously have a higher chance of errors occurring. So it can go both ways. Manual manual data gathering, but when it comes to doing something manual compared to automation, then automate like example, if you take a car, you need to drive it manually, right? Fully automated car, Tesla, but still it only works in a certain specific cities and things like that. So there's no such thing as a fully automated matter. So there are that type of informational points where we still trump over the automated methods, but the typical manual data entry method, අපි නිකන් ෆයිල් එකකට data දානවා කියන ඒකේ අනිවාර්යෙන් වැරදෙන්න පුළුවන්. වැරදෙන්න තියෙන chance එක වැඩි. So obviously errors can occur because since we are human, obviously it can be changed. ඔය හොඳ example එකක් කියන්න මගේ යාළුවට වෙච්ච එකක් ඔය දවසක් accident එකක් වෙලා මිනිහා පොලිසියට ගිහිල්ලා පොලිසියේ ඔන්න දැන් කට උත්තරේ දීලා තියෙනවා. මම මේ පොලිසියත් එක්ක පොත් කියනවා නෙවෙයි මම කියන්නේ වෙච්ච දේ. පොලිසිය කට උත්තරයක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් කට උත්තරය අරගෙන දැන් ඔක්කොම කරගෙන දැන් යනවා. කට උත්තරයකට ගිහිල්ලා ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එකට දුන්නා පොඩි ඇක්සිඩන්ට් එකක් වෙලා. ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එකට දුන්නාම ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් guy I don't know, he was able to read it anyway. And when he went through it, the story, what happened, and what he has written down in the paper is totally two different things. Okay. then we had to go through a quite hard time because අරකේ පොලේ තියෙන එකක් මම දීලා තියෙන තව එකක්. දැන් මාරක කියන්නේ පොලේ පොලිස් ඔෆිසර් දීලා තියෙන එකක්. හැබැයි ඇත්තටම ජීවිතේ වුණේ තව එකක්. So we had a huge difference between these two data sets, and finally we had to go back to the police and show him the pictures and get another person to write it properly. And so errors. ඒ වෙලාවේ මිනිහා මොකක් හරි mood ගාලා හිටියක් දන්නේ නැහැ. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. He might have in a different mood, or he might have written the whole damn thing by in the same time thinking about something else. We never know, right? So errors can happen when it comes to manual methods, and of course critical errors also can be can be done by humans. ඔය වගේ වැඩ වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. දැන් හිතන්න අර කිලිව කියලා අප්පලා මැරුවා කියලා කතාවක්. හරි කොප්පියේදී අන්තිමට ඉරෙත් ගන්නවා. So remember, so errors can happen. So because of that, manual methods are not good. Remember, guys, you get this question: what are the like pros and cons when it comes to manual and automated method? So remember these points, because you should obviously write this as an answer saying it using manual entry can have errors or it is error prone. Okay, keep that in mind. Then okay, so now it's all done with the manual stuff. Now we'll get to the new era of ICT. So the emergence of ICT era. So let's talk about the ICT era and what, how, and where our lives were changed using the technology which we have right now. And we'll discuss about how these points were used or we can use to overcome the drawbacks of manual methods of data manipulation. Okay, so let's dive in and explore this concept in a way that makes sense to you. So, bye manual method. Manual methods ටික ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි. ඉතින් මුකුත්ම මේකක් නැහැ. track කරන්න විදියක් නැහැ. No, sorry. No, track කරන්න නැතුව ඉන්න බෑ. Then now everything is digital. So you can literally track all the data points and whatnot, everything. So we literally said goodbye to this. These manual in a lot of paperwork, physical filing systems, and human involvement, which had their limitations and drawbacks. Obviously, we know what other drawbacks are. But now, with the power of information technology, we have innovative tools and systems that makes our life easier and more efficient. හොඳම මම දැකලා තියෙන හොඳම efficiency එක මම හිතන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට මතක ඇති කියලා. ගොඩාක් ඉස්සර කඩේකින් ගිහිල්ලා, so when you go to a typical shop and when you buy something, this is the time where you had this small බොටු ගහලා දාලා තීනි දාලා දෙන්න තීනි 100ක් දාලා මෙතනද පොඩි බෑග් එකක් හදලා දෙන කාලේ. Those days, if you ask the mudalali to give you a bill, what he does is he just rip off a small piece of paper, write down what you purchased with the price in front of it, with a big two slashes, and write the total, and he put a signature. Sometimes he doesn't put the signature. That was the bill you get after purchasing something from a typical okay, but now everybody has this digital scale, so they they enter the numbers and you get the bill printed out. So all the data is being tracked and it reduced all those paperwork which was there to capture them. I think I guess. Okay, so overcoming drawback, IT helps us overcome the drawbacks we mentioned earlier, and it basically removes the gap between the data errors and what we had with the delays, so that it minimizes all the issues, and automated systems allowed us to handle more data and handle it more accurately and quickly, fast. So digital data is basically the data entered electronically, reducing the chance of human errors. And algorithms can process and analyze vast amount of information in a fraction of time it would take compared to it would take manually. If you go back to, we'll go back to our first example, as I told you about this government project where we gave them the tab to enter the data. So if they have used that particular tablet to enter the data, we had validation added in that form so that you were never able to create a user with the same ID number or with the same phone number by adding it in a specific way. The මුන් වෙලා තියෙන phone number එක අපි 0.77 දාන්න වෙනවා 0 නැතුව 77 දාන්න. එතකොට record එක save වුණා because we were asked to remove that validation by the organization itself. That was something else. But then again, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ tab එක use කරා නම් මම example එක කියපු හැටියට we could not get into that position because data duplication and all these things technically should not happen. Okay, so we'll go to the next point. Efficiency and productivity. So all the data will be saved in a specific database, and of course we all know that that particular database can and will be exposed, and you guys will be able to manipulate and create all the or access all the data points you have. So the efficiency part is literally since this is saved in a digital way, it's going to be extremely fast and extremely robust and easy to access, as well as digital data වල තියෙන ලොකුම දේ මොකක්ද? Digital data වල තියෙන ලොකුම දේ තමයි search කරන්න. It gives you a method to search. That's the biggest thing which we got when we moved to the new digital era. You guys don't know the pain point, so monkey and pain point එක මොකක්ද කියලා. අවුරුදු ගානකට කලින් මේ IT අමතක කරන කම්පියුටර් අමතක කරන ડોකියුමන්ට් එකක් හොයන්න ගියාම I think පිස්සුම හැදෙනවා. අයි ඒක හොයාගන්න බෑ. So nobody can locate a document. So literally like I have been to different places to get different documents, and what they say after මේ තුන්වෙනි තට්ටුවේ හතරවෙනි මේ මේස ගාවට ගිහිල්ලා මේ රතු පාට ෆයිල් එක අරන් එන්න කියන්නේ. මම දැන් ගිහිල්ලා තුන්වෙනි තට්ටුවේ ගිහලා හතරවෙනි මේස එක මිස් කෙනෙක්. So we go then we ask her, miss මේ පල්ලෙන් රතු පාට ෆයිල් එක දෙන්න. And then she asked මොකද්ද රතු පාට ෆයිල් එක? Then we have to give her the number. Then she මොකක් කරන්නේ? වෙන හොයනවා දැන් නම්බර් එක වල ඔන්න කොලයක් අපිට කියනවා මේක ආයි ගෙනත් දෙන්න ඕනේ මට කියලා ඔන්න කොලයක් දෙන්න. Okay, so then we have to take that back to where we started from, and we hand the paper to him. Then he look at the paper. Okay, ඔයා මේ දවසේ මේක කරලා තියෙනවා නේ, මේ දවසේ මේ ටික දුන්නා නේද? හරි, okay, එහෙනම් අපි මෙහෙම කරමු. So it takes you about 20 to 30 minutes at least. Camera එහෙම කියලා හිටියොත් it will take you at least about 1.5 hours to get that thing done. Okay, that was the typical office back in the day. But now even most of the government offices, they have moved into the new ICT era, because if you want to get some information, good thing. So birth certificates here. So now they have completely digitalized everything. Yeah. So if you need a copy, you can easily go and just either show them your identity card, or you just need to show a police report. If you don't have the ID card, you can get an immediate print. So that's the level we were able to achieve by getting into the ICT era. So the searching part was the biggest achievement, because we had a way of searching for data. Okay, earlier we didn't have anything. Now we have the search. You think, okay, then improved decision making. With all the data we have, obviously the decision making was extremely improved to the next level. Because now, simple example, අපි ආම Google ගේ what is the weather tomorrow? Simple like that. There may information, right? Now, with the digital age, with all the predictions, with all the data points which has been gathered from Sri Lanka's Met Department, all the NASA's weather satellites, and from using all those information, Google is able to give us the precise estimated weather for at least 6 days in front. So now this is Saturday. If I click on Saturday it says scattered thunderstorm. Okay, so if I use precise location, this is going to take my location from my browser. So I live in Kalabovila, so as you guys know, so this was taken from my location. So from my location, Saturday, I can see that the prediction, make a prediction, but this is a prediction. But now these predictions have become extremely accurate because of the information they receive. Data, sources ගොඩයි. අපේ Met Department එකකින් එනවා, NASA එකකින් එනවා, Google satellites තියෙනවා. දැන් අපේ ඉලන් මස්ක් අයියා තව සැටලයිට් යවනවා දවස ගානේ. එතකොට ඒ ඔක්කොම සැටලයිට් වලින් weather satellite යවනවා, information satellite යවනවා. So using all those information, all those data points, you process it into information and you get the option of protecting data. So getting back to the decision making part. දැන් මට ඕනේ සෙනසුරාදා මට ඕනේ මම හෙට මට meeting එකක් තියෙනවා. මෙහෙම හිතමු. So I have a meeting tomorrow and I want to know whether it's going to be sunny. So let's say I want to host a meeting. Meeting I know what a party at that. I want to host a party at 5 o'clock and I want to check if the weather is good. According to this, the weather is going to be really great, right? So we have a 29 Celsius weather with the temperature, with let's say the wind. Yeah, wind is also good. So the temperature is also good, and we can easily make that decision, right? So this, with all the information, with the digital information you get, you have the decision making skills improved, and it will let you analyze the trends, identify patterns, and basically extract meaningful insight. This helps us you make smarter choices as well as do like act and plan things, whether it can be in your personal life, academics, so whether it can be related even for career related decisions. හිතන්න ඔය weather එක අපේ ICT කියන්නේ අපි when we move to the ICT era, one of the best things which happened was number one, the search. The second thing was getting satellite information, because earlier I show you that as well. අපි මේ කරනකොට මම මේ ආකරන දේවල් කියලා දෙනවා මේ, but I hope this is interesting for you guys. So මම ගොඩක් information දෙනවා එකපාරට, try to grasp it, but so this is not literally like directly related to the subject, but you guys need to learn this. So මේවා සාමාන්‍ය දැනීම. ඉතින් ඉස්සර before we get all these data points and all, this is how we understood how the weather reacts and how the weather is by sending a weather balloon. So how does it work? What it does is it's basically a helium balloon, and it goes up to a certain point, and at that point you have a set of transmitters, and it transmits everything and basically all the data back. Still, this is being used, and if you guys have ever been to the Met department, at least ළඟට හරි ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා නම් ඕගලන් දැකලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ අපේ මෙතන තියෙන්නේ මේ BMI switch එක ගාව weather balloon දැකලා තියෙනවා. මම දැකලා තියෙනවා weather balloon යවනවා. So that was how you got the information down. So basically here this the balloons we start out measuring about 6 feet. When it releases, it can expand as they rise up to about 20 feet. This is the one, an instrument called radius aid. So radius is a small instrument package that suspends below the balloon filled with either hydrogen or helium. As it carried, measures the pressure, temperature, and relative humidity. So that will basically, so that device, you literally send the weather balloon up, and that device captures the information, and you get that down. And after that, this was long time ago. Then wireless then they read the information. Either attain insert that was the old age, but now everything is digital. So every time when this happens, this automatically submits information, sends information out to the internet, so that can be read by almost all the service users to create all this data protection. And also there, um, I, uh, okay. So මම දැන් අරක කතා කරපු එක මම මේකත් කියන්නම්ද. ඔය සුනාමි කතාව වෙන්නේ. සුනාමි එකක් එනවා කියලා නම් අපි ප්‍රෙෂර් කරන්නේ. So this is called as sea boy. Boy කියලා ලියන්නේ BOY නෙමෙයි boy ලියන්නේ BUOY. Okay. So a sea boy is actually a device which floats on the sea. Some devices are basically anchored down as well. ඒක anchor එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක පොළොවට දාලා දෙන්න. එතකොට ඒක වැනුනට ඒක තැන තියෙනවා. So what this detects is this has motion sensor, pressure sensor, and it has a huge array of sensors, and it it has a couple of solar panels, so it's connected directly to the weather satellite. So how it works is, if there's a certain pressure build-up, that will be notified to the weather satellite. ඕක චුට්ටක් හරි මෙහෙම වෙච්ච හැටි මෙහෙම වුණාට අවුලන්නේ එකපාරට මෙහෙම වුණොත් එහෙම අන්න රෙකෝඩ් එක කරනවා මෙන්න වේව් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. So usually sea boys are like all around the world, and I think you should be able to use the sea boy. Yeah, so this is the National Data Boy Center. So what you can see is, literally what you can see is this is real time data. මේ තියෙන්නේ ලෝකේ අපේ මුහුදේ තියෙන sea boys ටික. මේවා තමයි අපේ තියෙන sea boys ටික. So all of these sea boys keep on transmitting data every millisecond so that we can consume it. හදිස්සියවත් මෙන්න මේ හරිය මොකක් හරි වෙනවා සුනාමි අවුලක් තියෙනවා නම් ස්ටේෂන් එක අවුලක් තියෙනවා නම්, or if there is a certain, let's say, if it raises a certain red flag due to some sort of a data validation or something, then of course it will automatically tell you that you have to evacuate or go out and move to some places. So if we check around Sri Lanka, these are the sea boys we have. මේවා නැවේ යනකොට මේ captains වගේ map එකේ ඔක පෙන්නනවා නැත්නම් ඔක අපගේ පුළුවන් කාටත් ඒකත් තියෙනවා, so that nobody will basically damage this, and these are the information you can do. So based on these observations, you can literally do a lot of like get a lot of data out of it. You can get historical data, and basically based on an station. So if I click on this station, we can see the data for the moment. So I'll select recent data, and අපි යන ලංකාව ගාවට අපිට තේරෙන දේ බලමු. මේක ගිහිල්ලා අපි මේකට යන ලොකු කරලා බලමු මෙතන. Okay, so we have something. So this is from Bay of Bengal. මෙන්න බලන්න ඉතින් water column height එක පෙන්වනවා දැක්ක. අරක යනකොට අරය මුහුද මැද්දේ මෙහෙම ඉන්නකොට ඒක height එක detect කරනවා. So this is real time, recent data. It's, I don't know when it was updated, but it is real time data. Okay. මෙන්න ICT ඉරා එක ආපු එකෙන් change වෙච්ච දේවල්. Okay. So I'm explaining you guys a lot, but I hope this is interesting. So let's get back to the slides. So collaboration and connectivity. මම මේක පෙන්නන්න තමයි ඔය මේකත් ඔය data points ටික ගත්තේ. දැන් මෙතනින් so we discussed about improved decision making, so we went in depth on this, and then collaboration and connectivity. So with the data, with the ICT era sense, everything is connected together. This gave us like multiple digital platforms where we can share and exchange data and ideas and information with each other. Now with this, so this is an open platform which basically shares all the information about the data which is being received by these T-boys. So now you know if something is going to happen, you can obviously look at this. So likewise, the data is being collaboratively shared so that people can access the same data set from throughout the world. Okay, I hope you guys have a crystal clear idea. I හොඳටම මම හිතනවා ඔක තේරුණා කියලා points ටික. මතක තියාගන්න මම ඔය කියපු දේවල් ටික ඕක just do some background research as well. Learn because learning how these sensors work is quite interesting. Because I'm into IoT devices. I do supervise IoT projects as well. So if you guys are interested or if you guys are doing something, feel free to send me a message and මාවත් කතා කරගන්න මොනවා හරි කරනවා නම් project එක මම help කරන්න කරන්න ඇති. So I do have all these IoT sensors devices and we do some weird stuff. We can jolly කේකව කරනවා අපි plan. So do let me know if you guys are interested in that area. We can do a session even later on if that's going to be something interesting. Okay, so coming back to usage of information and various domains. So let's talk about how information is used in different areas of our life, and we'll see how it will impact various domains. මෙතන මේ domain කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන් explain කරනවා නම් domain කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි අපේ තියෙන මොකක් හරි පැත්තක් වගේ දෙයක් හරි. එතකොට දැන් education කියන්නේ එක domain එකක්. ඒ වගේ. හරි? Okay. So usage of information in various domains. We'll start by education. What happened for education? Education was completely changed because of information. Okay. So it's what we rely on to learn new things, whether it's in school or outside of it. Make a very controversial point. මම මේ කියන්න හදන අපේ මේ education එක 100% ඇත්ත. Education was completely changed. But still, these third world countries that we are included, we are still in the process of getting to the next step. දැන් මගේ යාළුවන්ගේ ළමයි ඉන්නවා වෙන රටවල් වල නෝර්වේ එහෙම. They don't go to school. There's no such thing as school. They have been so much upgraded using all these technologies. ඉස්කෝලේ කියන එක සම්පූර්ණ වෙනම concept එකක් දැන්. They have homeschooling, ගෙදර ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. නැත්නම් ඉස්කෝලේ යනවා කියන concept එකක් නැහැ. So that comes something different. So in the world, the most impacted domain was education because education changed drastically. As well as the way we learn and how we learn was changed. That may call like then api ලංකාවේ හැමතැනම එකතු වෙලා එක call එකක අපි කට්ටියක් එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් මේකේ දැන් මේ වගේ ගොඩක් දේවල් එකතු වුණා information systems එක. So this was the first domain, and then entertainment. Entertainment went to the next level. මොකද කොච්චර වෙනස් වුණාද කිව්වොත් අපිට ඉස්සර entertainment කියලා මොනවද තිබුණේ? රේඩියෝ එකයි ටීවී එකයි විතරයි. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකයි රේඩියෝ එකයි ටීවී එකයි. Then we were growing up, we had this Walkman, Sony Walkman එක tape දාන Walkman එක. ඒක තිබුණා. ඒකෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් information පොඩ්ඩක් කරලා tape cassettes තිබුණේ. Then we were automatically switched to the digital era. So actually we were lucky enough to experience all those factors. So we started. I got a Walkman long time ago when I was very small, and then somehow luckily I got a Discman as well, Sony Discman. Then as a gift I got a iPod, which was the second generation Apple iPod, and from that day onwards I was using iPods, and now we use our iPhones to basically listen to music. So entertainment had a massive change, and innovation played a massive point when it comes to the entertainment with this new ICT era, because it changed massively, and now what we have is something totally new and robust and powerful from what was there. And one more thing, this is also something which I don't know how many slides are there. Yes, okay, we can finish it up. This is also one thing which I want to explain you now. Entertainment වගේම තව දෙයක් වෙනස් වෙනවා. ටෙක්නොලොජි එකෙන් වෙනස් වෙන ලොකුම දෙයක් තමයි celebrities කියන එක. ඉස්සර, so if you go back like 30 years ago, celebrities were people we saw on TV. අපේ කවුද මෙයා night ride ගියා. night ride එකේ Michael Knight තමයි යන්න පොර. අලු කාර් එක යනවා කාර් එක පන්නනවා. I think he was one of the අර කොල්ලොන්ගෙත් පොර කෙල්ලොන්ගෙත් පොර. කෙල්ලොත් කතාව බලන්න. He was a celebrity. But now, with change of entertainment and with the new era of internet, anybody can be a celebrity, right? You can easily be a celebrity. All you need to do is use some sort of social platform, do something new, or just do something weird, or just joke. If you do the joke properly, obviously, you can be a celebrity. So back in the day, Michael Knight and all, they had a certain following, but now easily you can get 1 million followers if you do something proper. And entertainment is now is in a stage where it's properly booming and it's growing every day. Okay, so entertainment is one of the most powerful things which was affected by the ICT era next to education. So this created different revenue models. ඒ කියන්නේ සල්ලි හම්බ කරන විදි වෙනස් වුණා. ඒත් එක්කම අලුත් opportunities create වුණා YouTube වගේ platforms. Then we have the technology. Of course, we all know we got the new smartphones and computers and social platforms, and all the things got updated. ඉස්සර social platform එක කියන්නේ කොල්ලෝ ටික සෙට් වෙලා chat එකක් දානවා social වෙනවා කියන්නේ. නැත්තම් ගේමින් කියන්නේ කොල්ලෝ ටිකක් හම්බ වෙලා අපි කම් කොයි හරි internet cafe එකට ගිහිල්ලා, otherwise we'll just meet up. Like there was a time where we literally took our PC, අපිට ඒතර laptop තිබුණේ නැහැ. Literally we packed up our PCs and we go to one of our friends' places and we played overnight. There was this thing called LAN parties. So we called it LAN parties. I'm not sure. So we called it LAN parties. So it's like, yeah, it's like 90s and early 2000s. Okay. So we used to do this back in the day. What we did was okay, so I've just tried to find out if one of my pictures pops up. No, right? So during this party, I was there. So here we had laptops, but there was a point where we bought our like, actual PC and we had LAN parties. Okay, so it was kind of like a fun time where we created the own network, and that was the activity we called online gaming. And this was like 90s or early 2000s. Now online gaming is playing Warcraft or Call of Duty or any of these online games, right? So the era got completely changed. The whole concept of gaming got changed as well. So that's just a simple example. Nikam penny ඉස්සර කොහොමද LAN parties කරේ කියන එක. Okay, so that's how things got kicked up and got into the next level. And then communication, obviously, communication was obviously improved, and we got into a new level where we got digital messages. Earlier, what we had was analog messages, or we also call it as short messages, which is kind of like a small data packet. I'll explain how these things work when we get into those topics. But for the moment, we had analog messages, and then we were introduced to the digital messages, which was firstly introduced by BlackBerry called BBMe, and then iPhone came up with iMessages, and then rest of things came to the market like WhatsApp and so on and so forth, all these chat applications. So it was like wildfire. It spread across all the communication platforms, and we were able to basically thrive, and we were able to get all the benefits because of the technological advantages. So even this particular session, even this class is happening because of that technological advancement, right? That's good. So thanks to the ICT era. Then healthcare. Healthcare, without a doubt, information basically plays a vital role in healthcare. Like as the issue we had for the last 2-3 years, where because of the technology, we were able to find solutions for the problem we had last year and year before, and doctors were able to give a proper vaccine or find a proper vaccine and give a solution because of the advances of the technological side of healthcare. As well as I'm not sure whether you guys saw that. Now, recently we had the Japanese Robo Conference, and at that Japanese Robo Conference, sorry, not Japanese, Chinese Robo Conference, they demonstrated a completely autonomous surgery bed kind of thing, where you have all these small hands where it moves and all, and a doctor can real time do a surgery sitting at a small desk. So what he does is he just keep his arms and looks inside a kind of like a microscope kind of thing, and it shows you an in-depth view of that patient, and he does that surgery. And they were boasting that every movement was precise into 0.00 something of a second. So if he even has like if he moves his finger even like quarter of a millisecond, then that arm will move as well. So it's like extremely precise. And කියන්න බෑ තව කාලයක් ගියාම අපි හොස්පිටල් එකට ගියාම ડોක්ටර් කියයි දන්නේ නැහැ පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මං එන්නම් කියලා මම ගෙදර ඉඳන් සර්ජරි එක කරන්න බැරි නෑ වෙන්න පුළුවන් might happen huh? There can be a chance where like remote hospitals can happen like other than අපේ පිට franchise සයිඩ් ලංකාවේ දානවා වගේ if it comes to the market not like if when this comes to the market there can be just a thing there can be literally there can be hospitals which will not have doctors in it. So if they can see you, if they can feel you, if they can hear you breathe, feel your pulse, see you, and get all your information through a digital stream, and if they can perform surgery through a digital stream as well, then they don't need to be in the location. So I'm pretty sure there will be a point where we will have like hospitals where doctors will not be there. Doctors will be there in a different country also, and we will be able to get the surgery or whatever the medical requirement done. I'm pretty sure that will happen. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it's precisely it's going to happen at some point. Okay. අපිට ගියාම හොස්පිටල් එකට ගියාම සමහරට අහයි මේ සර් බෙහෙත් ගන්න ඕනේ ලංකාවේ දොස්තර කෙනෙක්ද නැත්නම් ඇමරිකාවේ දොස්තර කෙනෙක්ද? ඒ මොනවාද මරු වැඩේ. Okay. Super. So next, business and commerce. So of course, for businesses and economy, information is like gold. Like companies gather data and market insights to make smart decisions, and they use information to understand what people want, create amazing products, and obviously deliver great service. From analyzing trends to understanding customer preferences, information helps business to thrive and succeed. So, business and commerce. We have another part remaining about the data gathering and the so we have this step about analyzing and data gathering, which will be done in the last class, this one. So I will literally take you guys through how Facebook and TikTok and all these social platforms use the data gathering and processing part. And I'll explain you guys how the technological part works in that. So for the moment, we are just covering this three, and we'll get to the next week because this is going to be the interesting part. So because I'm going to discuss that particular data gathering thing in our next lecture, I'm not going to go in depth right now, but just for your information, you guys know that business and commerce will obviously use information to understand what people want, create amazing products, and obviously deliver some great service. We'll discuss how they capture information during our next lecture. So, next topic, availability of technologies related to information retrieval and sharing. So this is about like what are the availability of technologies, different types of technologies, which will help you gather the information and to share it. අපිට මොන වගේ technologies ද තියෙන්නේ information එකතු කරන්නයි ඒ information share කරන්නයි කියන එක. ඉතින් number 1, finding information. Thanks for all the technology. Finding information has become very simple. Like remember back in the day, phone number එක search කරන්න ඕන නම් අපිට තිබුණේ මොකද්ද මේ yellow pages. අන්න ඉතින් මෙච්චරක් විතර පොතක් තියෙනවා. ඕක බලපල ඕක පෙළ number එක හොයන්න. Now you don't have to do that, right? Now you have search engines and you have yellow pages. You literally have the yellow pages online and you have all the details here. So now literally you don't need to go through that huge bulky book. But earlier, before the internet was there, we had a book like this. So this is typically the book which is called yellow pages. So these pages are yellow. Make that's why it's called the yellow page. Okay. ඒක තියෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම business record. අපි ඉස්සර ඕගලන් දන්න සල්ලි ගෙවන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඕකේ නම දා ඕකේ රෙකෝඩ් එකක් දාන්න ඕන නම් අපි සල්ලි ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ඒ කියන්නේ ඉස්සර තියෙන බිස්නස් ඉස්සර මම ඉස්සර කියන්නේ සෑහෙන ඉස්සර about 20 more than 20 years ago. අපිට බිස්නස් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ නම් දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මේ අපි දැන් මොන හරි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් විකුණනවා කියලා ඒ කාලේ අපි වෙබ්සයිට් හදනවා. වෙබ්සයිට් හදනකොට කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් හොයද්දී ඒක අර වෙබ්සයිට් එක කරනවා කියලා දෙන්න ගන්න හරි අමාරුයි කස්ටමර් කෙනෙකුට. හැබැයි ඔය yellow pages එක අරගෙන yellow pages එකේ තියෙන්නේ කෙලින්ම ලිස්ට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ A to Z තියෙන්නේ. ඔන්න එක ගන්නවා A ගන්නවා ඒකේ බිස්නස් ටික බලලා එක පස්සේ කරනවා. If you can pay, you can put an advertisement like this as well. පොඩි ටිකක් ලොකු ad එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. I mean, now luckily now we have the digital version, so it was done by Sri Lanka Telecom. So දැන් මේක තියෙනවා මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ අන්තිමට පොත ලොකු පොත තාම තියෙන්නේ still okay, so this is about advertising on the page. But can't we get the flagship directly? You can't get the directory, right? You can't get the printed version. Flag, okay. No, I don't think you can get it right now. So usually what we did was we go through it and we now this is sorted out. So it basically helped you finding the information. I think abilities are a number one thing, finding again. So because of that reason, it gave you a massive superpower to find all the information just like that. Then online online platforms basically gave us another different era. Took us to a different era of data collection. කොහෙන්ද පටන් ගත්තේ? ඔක පටන් ගත්තේ blogs වලින්. So late 90s, yeah, this is very early 2000 මුල හරි. ආවා වුණ PHP libraries ටික PHP BB, PHP BB එකයි, I can't remember the other one name. So there were a couple of open source libraries which came out as blogs and communities. ඔය PHP BB එකත් තමයි එලකිරි කියන්නේ. එලකිරි එක පටන් ගත්තේ ඒ කාලේ. බලමු එලකිරි එකේ මේ මොකද්ද මේක කියන්නේ? එලකිරි what's the name of this? You can't go down. They have another auto scroll thing, ne? We will open this one and let's go down. This is what's the platform? We'll do an inspect and see it quickly. This is I think is it PHP BB or the other? No, you can't. No, you can't find it like this. I'm just wondering. So there was this platform called PHP BB. And maker. මට මතක නෑ මම හිතන්නේ මේක නෙමෙයි. මේකත් එකක්. So these platforms started back long time ago. So when these platforms came up to be, what happened was automatically people started to get on board of the platforms, and people started creating data, creating information. They were putting data into these platforms and data converted into information. So that is where that was the right, or that was the point where this all online community started up. And these communities literally contributed towards what we see right now as AI. අපි මේ AI කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම අර ඒ දවස්වල ඔය පටන් ගත්ත data collection එක තමයි ඔය එන්න ගත්තේ. Example, now you guys know that Microsoft is playing a crucial role in the OpenAI scale. So Microsoft purchased GitHub. GitHub තමයි ලෝකේ තියෙන ලොකුම code repository තියෙන තැන. ඒක ගොඩාක් ඉස්සර ඉඳන් community එකක්. ඒ community එකේ තමයි post දානවා, කතා කරනවා, ඔහොම වැඩ ටික කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒක Microsoft එකෙන් ගත්තා. So it got all the information into the system. I think when we got this online platform, it basically gave us the global platform to share and retrieve information through the online stream. So that was one of the major points which was introduced to us because of the ICT era, so that we can retrieve and share our information. And then of course social media is there. And then we have the mobile apps. Mobile apps, අපි දන්නවා mobile apps කියන්නේ හැමදේටම අපි පාවිච්චි කරන social media apps තියෙනවා හැමදේම තියෙනවා. So everything is based on either sharing data or retrieving some information. Example, YouTube app එක දැම්මොත් YouTube app එක ඔයගලන් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ data බලන්න, video එක බලන්න. So that is the retrieval part. අපි Instagram use කරොත් Instagram app එකේ අපිට පුළුවන් Instagram post එකක් create කරන්න. That is sharing. At the same time ඔයා wall එක බල බල යනවා. That is retrieve. Okay. So these two are there. So mobile apps are there. And then collaboration tools. So we are currently looking at a collaboration tool as well, like the Google Drive and Microsoft Teams were there. And we had this school assignment and this Microsoft, Google Workspace thing, so that we can run all the school assignment and university assignments and all. So it basically gave us the ability to come up with collaborative tools so that we can share and retrieve information using those as well. So that was the point behind the availability of retrieval and sharing. Now we jump back to our final topic, which is the development of computer networks, the internet, and the World Wide Web. This is, of course, I'm not going to put that much depth and information into this particular module, this particular part, because we will be discussing this in depth when we go into the next lecture, because we have to talk about how the data has been stored and what are the data types and how this cloud storage and things work like that. So for the moment, what we'll learn is we'll learn how the computer networks were created and why and how we can use the World Wide Web to support the new data. Okay, so computer networks, obviously, computer networks are the main connection or the base building block of all the networks, where it allows computers to discuss or have a discussion in between. Networking. So imagine a network like a web connecting all the links together, and over time, when these links are connected, you can literally share resources. So it's kind of like a digital highway that enables communication of data and data exchange between computers. Whether it's in the same room or on a different continent, අර මම අර කලින් පෙන්නවාගේ එකම කාමරේ කොලොටිකට වඩිලා network එක දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. Or now since the network has been so much improved and got into a next level, now you have the option of playing the same game with a person living at the other side of the world, other end of the world. Okay, so that's the thing of computer networks. And then we have the internet. So internet is basically the main source where everything is connected. So it's the massive global network that connects computers and devices worldwide. So it's kind of like the biggest network available, where we all connect to the internet, and then we find applications and apps and websites on it. We'll obviously go extremely in depth of the internet part. මම ඒකේ මේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් අපි වෙබ් ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් ඒ මොඩියුල් එකට ආවම ගොඩක් අපි ඉන් ඩෙප්ත් යනවා කියන්නේ මම ඔයගලන්ට උගන්වන්නම් software engineer කෙනෙක් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ දේවල් ටික එක ගැන මොකද මේකේ ඔයගලන්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙනවා but it's not there for your exams. ඉතින් අපි exams වල තියෙන ටික කව කරලා we'll learn the additional points as well, because of course I know you guys want to become software engineers, and I'll try to take you and show you the path to go forward. So internet, we all know that's the main connection matter. Then we have the World Wide Web, also known as WWW, which is the information playground, or it's kind of like the protocol where everything is connected together. So if we browse, search or retrieve information using a web browser, then automatically the web is basically the way you connect to it to a website is using the World Wide Web system, so that everything is interconnected and you have the option of browsing the web using a web browser. Okay. Then accessing information. So with the development of computer networks, and the internet and the web has basically made the ability to access information extremely faster. Now, as we as we saw, we can literally see real time the wave data because of the internet. So that buoy is basically transmitting data every split second, and that data is being captured by a satellite, which is in the inner orbit or in the outer orbit, I'm not sure. And then that satellite is transmitting that information to an internet provider or to some sort of base station. That base station analyzes it. Then that data is being sent to a server, and this particular website is accessing that information from the server. So when we access this website, what this guy does is it access that whatever the base server and get the information straight. So even if we don't access this, still that particular site where the boy sends the data to the satellite and where once the satellite is sending it to the base station, all that automatically happens. So because of this reason, because these things are because of the internet, now we have the option of easily accessing it. So literally you can get the location and the sea wave height of a boy, which is literally other side, which is located at the other side of the world. Right? So accessing information is extremely fast, and we get the option of connecting everything together. Communication and connectivity, we already discussed about this. It's basically we came up with chat applications and everything, and then that's it for the internet and network. And then we have the mobile communication and mobile computing and cloud computing. So this was the next most improved or the improvement we got from moving into the ICT era. Because this basically gave us some amazing technology so that you can keep it in your pocket and where it will allow you to do things. Okay. So earlier when we had this these type of phone. So, sorry. What I'm thinking, not 6600. May yeah, these type of phones. So when we had these type of phones, the only thing you could have done is you can just play snake තිබුණා. ඒකයි මේ එච්චර තමයි තිබුණේ මේ phones වල. ඊට පස්සේ then we got into the digital phones which came up with the Symbian. It's called Symbian. So earlier, before Android was there, Android was invented even, there was an operating system called Symbian. Okay, so Symbian is basically a system where it lets you install different types of applications. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. So yeah, so Symbian OS gave you the option of installing multiple applications. ඕක ගොඩක් ඉස්සර තිබුණ සිස්ටම් එක ඒකේ මේ ඒ දවස්වල Symbian OS එක තියනවා කියන්නේ මරුම interesting phone එක මොකද we had the option of installing different types of applications on that. And okay මාර app store එකක් තිබුණා ඉස්සර. So that was the start of this IT era where things came up to be and where phones were connected to the internet. Then we got these digital messages and it went on. Okay. So that was the major point when it comes to smartphones and mobile communication. So everything was changed and ඒක ගොඩාක් වෙනස් වුණා ඊළඟ level එකට. Then mobile computing. So when this happened, mobile computing කියන්නේ පොඩි වෙන කතාවක්. දැන් example එකක් හැටියට අපි ගත්තොත් අපි now if you take this one, if you wait, yeah, if you take one of these phones, literally these phone has kind of like an inbuilt processor in it. So in the previous versions, like මේ වගේ phones වල inbuilt processor එකක් කියලා දෙයක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඇත්තටම inbuilt මොකුත් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඒකේ තිබුණේ instruction set එකක් විතරයි. When we are getting into circuitry, I'll explain you in depth what these words means. Huh? So for the moment, just wrap your mind as a instruction set. Okay, තියෙන්නේ on off මේ button එක ගහුවම මේක වෙනවා, මේක ගහුවම මේක වෙනවා කියලා හදපු instruction set එකක්. After that, what happened was when we got into the next type of phone, Indian like operating system phone, these phones literally came up with a processor and a proper way of processing data without following that instruction set path. I mean, fixed button කරමු. ඒ කියන්නේ volume button එක volume නෙමෙයි, volume button is just a button where you program it through the operating system. Okay? That type of programming. ඕක ආවට පස්සේ then we got into this cloud mobile computing level, and then people started making these microcontrollers as small as possible, and it got into a level where now we have the latest and greatest M2 processor inside an iPad, right? So M2 processor is actually an extremely powerful CPU, and they were able to put that M2 processor into an iPad, which is like about 4-5 times powerful compared to an Intel i7 CPU. Okay, that's what the current status is with the technology of mobile computing. So it gave us a lot of options where it enabled processing, playing games, watching videos, and even create and edit videos. You can literally shoot a video in 4K and you can edit it, right? So all these were available for us because of the mobile computing change. Then we got into another point called cloud computing. So the cloud computing is going to be a separate module, which we will go in depth during our next point when we discuss the data storage method here, this part. Because in simple terms, I will explain what cloud computing is right now. So cloud computing is, just think as a hard drive located in a remote location. That's simple as that. So අපිට ඕන කරන storage එක තියෙනවා. හැබැයි location එක internet එකේ තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි දන්නේ නැහැ කොහෙද storage එක තියෙන්නේ කියලා. We don't want to know as well because we don't care where the data comes from. As long as the data is saved and preserved and properly backed up, then it's all good, right? So cloud computing was a game changer, and it enabled and gave us the virtual storage spaces, and it gave us this idea called supercomputers at our fingertip, where it basically gave us the option to connect to a computer and get our things done through the internet without spending money on physical hardware. So now the world basically runs based on cloud computing, and every software engineering application and every applications you use right now, all the applications you use right now, ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරන හැම app එකක්ම it's basically running on the cloud. අපි cloud එක ගැන කතා කරමු ඊළඟ lecture එකේ in depth data save වෙන තැන එනකොට. ඊට පස්සේ අපි cloud එක ගැන තවත් in depth කතා කරමු. මේකේ අපි ගියාම computers වලටයි sorry data communication and networking පාඩමේ. මේ පාඩමේ අපිට we will be discussing some applications on the internet and how these things work. Okay, so just don't get stressed about this, guys, because I'm actually a professional lecturer based on cloud computing. So I do cloud computing projects as well, and I do lecture cloud computing at university. So you guys are on good hands. I'll teach you guys how it works, as well as I literally want to show you guys some server side explanations as well, how how cloud computers work and how you can connect to a server. So it will be an interesting ride. And yes, okay. So that is it for this particular lecture. I hope it was interesting, and I hope you guys learned a lot as well in the sense about the topic, as well as I believe you guys learned a lot of different factors and different points about other things as well, like how voice work and undersea divers and LAN parties, Nokia phone, rainbow pages, forum, and hotel, and data points, and so on and so forth. So I hope it was interesting. And I'll give you guys a small time. If you guys have any questions, please shoot it to me. Just send a message on WhatsApp. And if you just feel free to send a message on WhatsApp anytime, or just give me a call if there's anything. Okay, super. So then, guys, catch you back next week, and we'll see you at the lecture for the modeling part of data and how we capture the data. Stop the share.